All right. So good morning or afternoon or evening, whenever you're watching the video. We are going to do a little bit of a warm-up morning stretch. The other day I did some sun salutations, so this will be a little bit different. So if you want the sun salutes, go back and grab that recording. Today we're going to begin standing, and I'm going to have you press your feet, the instep of your feet in together. Try to get your ankles almost to touch. You're going to squeeze your knees in. You're going to tighten up your glutes so you can press everything in on your midline, almost like you're trying to hold a piece of paper or something between your knees and your thighs so your base is very engaged. We're going to lift your rib cage up, and as we do, we're going to make sure that your tailbone doesn't pop out from the side. So when we lift up here, sometimes we kind of pop that tailbone out. So you want to make sure that that's engaged. Your tailbone is pulling straight down toward the ground as you lift your rib cage all the way up. Well, inhale both arms up overhead with those glutes nice and tight. We're going to exhale and just bend over to the side. So we're opening up the lat under the arm, that subscap area, but tight glutes hold that so we don't injure that low back. And then we're going to come all the way back to center and bring those arms all the way down. Again, we're going to come all the way up, inhale, and then exhale, bending over to the left side here, opening that up. We'll inhale, come back to center, and exhale all the way down. We're going to repeat that. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, bending over right side bend. And inhale to come back to center. And exhale one last time. Inhale all the way up. And over to the left side bend. Inhale, center, and then we're coming all the way down here. We're going to inhale, take a full body stretch, and then just continue to breathe. Exhale on arrival here. Continue to breathe. My fingers are energetic, and I'm reaching toward the ceiling. I'm driving my heels down into the floor, and I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades and plug my arms down into my shoulders here. So full body standing stretch. Good. I'm going to inhale to lift up. And then I'm going to exhale myself all the way down into a forward fold and drop my head all the way down. So from here today, I'm going to turn to the side. I'm going to just kind of sit back in my hips and press my torso onto my quads here and release my head. So I'm opening up and releasing my low back here. And just kind of getting my balance here. I can just kind of do a little bit of wave back and forth. And just open that up. I'm going to inhale into my upper back and exhale. I'm going to plant my hands here, and then I'm going to just take a step back and drop my left knee, and then I'm going to go ahead and drop my right knee. I'm going to come into my tabletop posture. So in the tabletop posture, you're going to just gently bend your elbows, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Imagine that like tennis ball under the chin, so it's a slight subtle tuck. Just get that length through the top of your spine here. Press the tops of your feet down into the mat. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Lots of muscles engaged here. Draw your belly button up to the spine so we don't have that tailbone going up, right? We just have that tailbone finding length toward the feet. Good. And 3, 2, and 1. Good. We'll go ahead and open the knees to the side of the mat. Throw your feet in together and send your hips all the way back. Walk your arms all the way out as far as you can and drop that forehead coming into your child's pose. We'll go ahead and just relax into this pose. So release your forearms down and just kind of rock your head back and forth to get a little bit of a mini massage here across the forehead. And just opening up some of those neck muscles here. We'll find some stillness here, and then go ahead and walk your fingertips over to the front right corner of your mat. Good, so we're opening up that left side body again. So as I do, I'm kind of pressing my hips down over my heels just to get a little bit more length through that left side. And then walk your fingers back through the center and over to the left. Good, and same thing, I'm just dragging my hips down over those heels, opening up that subscap armpit area on the right. And then I'm going to move my hands back in through center. Draw your shoulders under, just kind of let those muscles recoil there for a second, let them kind of do their thing. Then we're going to bring our knees in here to parallel. We'll take a seat here in hero pose, shoulders stacked over your hips. So if this is a little bit too extreme, let me get a colorful one so it stands out. So if you want, you can always just take a yoga block or even your foam roller to just sit on. Oh, my knee just cracked. If you didn't hear that. So you can sit on here just to get your hips elevated up here and taking that pressure off your ankles and your knees, but still being able to work yourself down into hero pose. Good, so we're just going to be here. Again, you're going to lift those ribcage up. Watch that tailbone, right? It's going to go straight down, not behind you. Lifting your rib cage, squeeze the shoulder blades, and then we're going to go in. Inhale, arms all the way up overhead, and exhale them into your imaginary back pockets right here. Where your fingertips touch, you're going to press forward so that you stretch open through the hip flexors, squeeze the shoulder blades, and the head doesn't really go back. It's just because you squeeze the shoulder blades, your head is kind of staying in this alignment, but as we squeeze here, the head goes back. Right, so the difference would be like if I did this and kind of crunched my cervical vertebra. We don't want to do that. So lifting open through the chest, and then we're going to come back to neutral and slide ourselves back down into a hero pose here. We're going to reach your fingertips down past your ankles, lifting the rib cage up. We'll inhale one more time and exhale those arms into the imaginary back pockets. Press forward, open those hip flexors, lift the chest. Head is a natural extension. 3, glutes are tight. 2 and 1. Excellent. So if you have a prop and you want to move that out of the way, go ahead and do that. I'm going to have you guys send your weight into that left leg here. And just back up a little bit so I don't whack into my wall. Send that into your left leg. I'm going to pick up my right knee. I'm going to go as slow as I can here just to work a little bit of balance. And then step out here into a low runner's lunge with both hands on my hips here. I'm opening up this left hip flexor and take my thumbs right into my SI joints and just press my hips forward and squeeze my shoulder blades back. Good. You're also going to feel a nice stretch here in the adductor on the front. Good. And then you're going to just push yourself kind of back to neutral. Straighten out that front leg and just drop your hips back and hold for 3. Bring the toes to you, lengthen that hamstring. 2, and good. We'll go ahead and drop forward again. Press those thumbs into the SI joints, squeeze the shoulder blades, and then exhale, press that back. Drop your hips behind you. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring your torso back up, and then you're going to send that weight back into the left. We'll come over, bring it back slow, little extra balance if you can. And now we're just going to repeat. Send the weight down here into your right leg. We're going to pick up your left. Oh, that was not as slow as the other side. Or as pretty, but pretty was not part of the deal. Good. So we're going to drop your hips forward. Again, thumbs are in those SI joints, squeezing the shoulder blades. Just drop forward. So the other thing you want to check here is your front knee. You want to make sure that you've taken a big enough step so that your knee doesn't pass over your toe and kind of have to make that patella ligament stretch too far. So you want to be with your ankle under that knee there. Good. Go ahead and press out. Straighten that leg. Drop your hip back so that we can stretch that hamstring without kind of coming too far forward. We're behind the midline of the body here. Pull those toes back. And we'll come again forward over the front knee, low runner's lunge here. Good. And squeezing the shoulder blades and pushing back, opening up that hamstring here. And good. We'll bring your torso up nice and tall. We'll bring our knees down here, coming down on the thighs, and walk your hands back out into your tabletop here. And you're just going to take a seat. Just turn yourself right over here. I'm going to take a seat here. And then you're going to just grab right above your knees here. Pull yourself all the way up so that we have a nice, tall, long spine here. And then you're just going to see if you can let go with your hands and maintain that posture right there so that we don't kind of drop out, right? So we lift ourselves up, squeeze the shoulder blades, and then just see if we can maintain it for 3, 2, and 1. If you want to go ahead and challenge yourself, go ahead and pick up this right leg and go ahead and pick up that left leg. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lift that up, and then go ahead and take those hands and float them right outside the knees. 3, 2, and 1. Good. We're going to grab those knees, tuck under, and just roll yourself onto your back, pulling the knees into your chest, and then rocking yourself back and forth, right to left here. Good. I'm going to have you hold on to the right knee, extend that left leg all the way out straight. You get a nice stretch again through that hamstring, and then we're going to guide into a supine twist. Send that right arm out long behind you, and that left knee works down toward the floor on the left. So we'll just take a couple of breaths here to just allow the spine to open up. You want to try to get your shoulder anchored down. So if that pulls your knee back and up, that's okay. We just keep that right shoulder anchored, then we can kind of have a baseline of how close that knee is. If we let that shoulder pop up and roll that knee over, that's a little bit of a different, we're going to go there in a second. But right now, we're going to just keep that shoulder down, reaching out. And if you want a little bit more stretch, you just send your eyes over to look for the fingertips on the right. Good. So now you're going to take this left hand and add some weight onto that right thigh. Drive it down toward the floor. Get it to touch the floor. And if that right shoulder pops up, that's okay. We're just giving a little bit more attention to the lower twist and holding it here. 3 and 2 and 1. Good. We'll rock ourselves back onto center. Guide that right knee back over the chest. Hold on to it here. And then we'll draw the left knee up and allow that right leg to come all the way down straight. We'll guide the left knee across, supine twist other side, and extend the left. Excuse me. I think it's dusty down here by the fireplace. Good. And reaching, again, anchoring that left shoulder. And 3, 2, and now we'll allow that to pop up and continue to bring that left knee all the way down. Add some weight. Oof, this is a good twist. 3, 2, and 1. Good. We'll bring that all the way back onto the back. Left knee comes up, right knee is going to come up. And then I'm going to have you guys just separate the knees out a little bit. Pull those kneecaps in toward the armpit so that you feel that stretch in the SI joint. You peel your pelvis up off of the floor. Keep the shoulders down. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Go ahead and release here and just allow your feet to come down onto the floor. Windshield wiper those hips back and forth. Each time you go right and left, you get a little bit wider. And be a little bit mindful as to what's going on in the lower back. Right? Sometimes if they're tight, those SI joints, they might be like popping or cracking, which is not a terrible thing because it means that there's some mobility in there. Right? So if there's associated pain, you send me a message. Good. And we'll come all the way back onto center with stillness here. You can rock yourself right up the center, or if your low back is bugging you today, you can just rock yourself over into the side. And we're going to go ahead and meet in our tabletop posture here and work some of our mid back. So we're going to go ahead, drop ourselves into our cow, drop your belly, lift your chest through on your inhale, and then you're going to exhale, push the ground away and just separate the shoulder blades, tuck the crown of your head down as low as you can, tuck your pelvis, and then we're going to repeat. So do about 3 on your own. And I don't want to rush or slow your breath. So you want to try to just move your body with your breath. And then once you've got 3 all the way completed, we'll go ahead and we'll meet back here into our cat posture. Just hang out there on the last one, get a really good stretch. And then we're just going to take some lateral movements, like sticking out the right hip, get a little bit more stretch on that hip capsule, come back through the center, and then go through on the left. So you can actually, if you want to do like a figure 8 or whatever, just try to find where that best stretch is for you. You can, that's fine. Whatever feels like the right thing.
Good, and then we'll come all the way through. You're gonna tuck those toes underneath. Send the hips all the way up here into your downward facing dog. We're gonna just press your heels down and you're gonna press your chest towards the thighs. Open this up. And taking a few breaths here, we'll just focus 2 rounds of breath. So your heels are always gonna hang heavy to the floor if they're not already on it. And as you take this first inhale here together, we're gonna send your hips up toward the ceiling without popping your heels up any further. And then exhale, try to push them down a little bit further, those heels into the floor. Inhale and push your hands into your mat. And exhale, float the chest closer to the thighs. Good. You're not moving a huge amount here, just micro movements. We're gonna float through that one more time. So inhale, lifting your hips, micro lift. Exhale, pressing those heels down. Inhale, push your mat. And exhale, float the chest. Good. Lift your eyes to lift between your hands. We'll take your right foot to your right hand, left foot to your left hand. Drop your hips here. Your weight comes into your heels, so you're not hurting that low back here. You're going to just bring yourself all the way up to standing and bring that inhale up over your head and exhale all the way down. We're going to finish out here today with our 3 shoulder rolls. We went all the way up, back, and down, and up, back, and down. And the last one, all the way back, just roll that back here. And excellent, nice work. So just a quick hip opener here for our lower body. If you guys want to do some more shoulder stretches, you can go ahead and do that on your own, or go ahead and grab another video. We just did our low body hip focus today. All right, have a great day, everybody.